Pie Talk Web is back, baby. Hey, what's going on? I know that the 4th of July just passed, time of remembrance for all those that served, past and present. And not a lot going on with Bama football, so I compiled a list from AL.com of all these people that served in the military that were prominent Alabamians. Okay, the first one was Bear Bryant. He enlisted in the Navy after the day after Pearl Harbor, putting him coaching career on hold to fight World War II. He was sent to North Africa, and when he was on the Uruguay, he was in the Uruguay ship and was rammed by another, and Bryant disobeyed orders to abandon ship. You also had Glenn Coffey. He was a great running back. His last year was, I think, in 09 or 08. Sorry. And in 09, he played football for 1 year, got out, joined the Army Rangers, and served for 4 years. Now he's trying to come back to football. You also had Willie Mays. I think we all know who Willie Mays is. He's great in baseball. He's a Fairfield native. He was drafted in 52, missed most of the season and all of 53. He never saw action during the Korean War and spent much of his military life in exhibitions to prove troop morale and publicity purposes. You got Joe Lewis. He was born in Chambers County, just outside of Lafayette. Like I said, we all know what he did. Amazing boxing career. I think he retired with a record of 68-3, if I'm not mistaken. He had like 54 total knockouts. He volunteered for the U.S. Army and was initially assigned to the cavalry unit, but he was placed in a special service division, which kept him out of combat. A lot of those guys are, but it's still awesome. He enlisted and served most of his time doing exhibitions as a soldier, which is really cool. After graduation from, we have William Vandy Graaff. He played football at Alabama. He's a Tuscaloosa native. He was the first Alabama All-American in 1915. He was 6'1" and 187. My God, that's barely big enough to be a wide receiver these days, and he played on the line. He played tackle and later served as assistant coach in 1925 to 1926 for the national championship teams. Awesome guy. It says after graduating in Alabama, he enrolled at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point and graduated 10 days before the end of World War I. He was commissioned as an infantry officer, and his career included stints as a football coach, a professional military science. He returned to the Army in 1942 as World War II raged and served in several different assignments during the war. So the dude was a badass. We got Monty Irvin. He played baseball. He was the Black League star who is from Haleyburg, a tiny town in Henry County near Dothan. It's barely a pinprick on a map, and is one of 12 Alabamians in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He said he was drafted in the U.S. Army in 42 and spent years with an engineering battalion helping build bridges and repair roads. As a result of his military service, Irvin returned home suffering from tendinitis, or ringing in his ears, and the condition made it difficult to return to baseball. We got Dan Bankhead. I actually know one of his grandsons, Devin Bankhead, which is really cool. He was a Black League star who later played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. He served in the U.S. Marine Corps during World War II from 42 to 45. A slick hitter and a pitcher. He hit home runs in his first Major League Baseball at bats and also was the first Black American pitcher in Major League history, which is awesome. We have Charles Boswell. He played golf professionally. He rose to fame as the nation's first blind golfer, which is amazing. Like I can't even play with two good eyes. After being wounded during World War II, Boswell injured while pulling a wounded American from a burning tank when it exploded, leaving him permanently blind. It said during his rehab in Philadelphia, he discovered golf and became one of the world's best blind golfers, won 16 national blind golf championships, and shot an 81 in 1956, the world record for a blind golfer. Dude's badass. I mean, we can just go ahead and put that out there. He is bad to the bone. Otis Davis, he played track and field. He started high school football and baseball at Druid High in Tuscaloosa in the 50s, but was barred from attending the University of Alabama. He joined the U.S. Air Force and served a few years before going to Los Angeles Community College. He played basketball. Then he became a world-class sprinter, and he played basketball at Oregon because they signed him. This is a really cool note. He won 2 gold medals at the 1960 Summer Olympics in Rome and set a new world record for the 400-meter dash. This is high company right here. These are some bad dudes, man, I'm telling you. Willie Davenport, track and field. He was a native of Troy, moved to Ohio when he was 9, became a star sprinter, and hurled one of the few African Americans students at Howland High. He enlisted in the Army in 61, served until 63 in Germany. He worked to perfect his hurling technique while he was there. He earned a spot in the 1964 Olympic team and later enrolled at Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, after his military service in 1965. He went on in 1968, the Summer Olympics in Mexico. He won a gold in the 110-meter hurdles. He later competed in the 1980 Winter Olympics in bobsled, one of the few athletes to compete in the Summer and the Winter Olympics, which is totally awesome. He later joined the Army National Guard and raised to the rank of colonel. Hats off, that is awesome. All-American men and women's trap teams, he coached them to 4 undefeated seasons from 1993 to 1996. This gentleman, I'd like to meet him. I think he's done about everything, from the 60s through the 80s and the 90s as a coach. This is a bad dude. I'd like to interview Willie Davenport. I think this dude's a bad dude. We got Horace Gilmore, if I'm saying that right. He played football. He was born in Roanoke. Gillen grew up in Ohio and became a star at Massillon, Washington High. After years at Ohio State, he entered the U.S. Army and served 3 years during World War II. He did 10 seasons with the Cleveland Browns as a kicker and a punter. He is credited as the pioneer of the modern punting practice, which we see today. He stood deeper in the backfield to give him more time to kick, and his kicks sailed high into the air, allowing his teammates to get downfield and tackle. And one of the last guys, we all probably know him. We all grew up seeing him on the Andy Griffith Show and whatnot. And Gomer Pyle joins the Marines, or whatever that show is he did. I can't remember it. I know what it was. It was USMC, Gomer Pyle USMC or whatever. But it really cool. But his main fame, everybody knew him from the Andy Griffith Show, is Goober. Or his, and so best known is portrayal of dim-witted Goober on the Andy Griffith Show. Lindsey played quarterback at North Alabama, then known as Florence State Teachers College. With a future of the NFL Rookie of the Year, Harlan Hill played on the same team, was really awesome. He went on to a big show career and played years on TV and everything. Let me correct myself. I had a brain fart. He was not Gomer Pyle, sorry. He was Cousin Goober. Correction on that. I'm sorry I messed that up. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Anyway, Tide Talk Web on the Run is out. Sorry for the mistake. Bye.